Hello and welcome to whole food, plant-based, no oil cooking. Tonight's meal is orange chicken on rice, and this is the finished product. And now I'm going to show you how we got there. Okay, so here we are at the beginning, and I'm going to show you how to put this dish together. And we're going to start with our ingredients list. Tonight's ingredients, we're going to start with 8 ounces of soy curls, that's one package. We have 2 cups of orange juice. I've made this from concentrate, but you can use fresh, that's a lot better. You can also use different flavors like tangerine. I've also got the orange zest in this. We have a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. We have our garlic. We have our ginger. And we have our medjool dates. Now we'll put them all together. We're going to start with some hot water on the soy curls, get those soaked and hydrated. And because the soy curls tend to float, I have a nice little weight here. There we go. Now those will soak for about 10 minutes or up to 2 hours. So now we'll put the sauce together. First, we need to put those into the Vitamix and get those all blended up. So I will start putting that. Soy sauce. I'm sorry. Okay. Now, our 3 dates. Our ginger. Now I pre-sliced this just to make it easier on the blender. And I like a little extra garlic in mine, so instead of 2, I'm using 4 cloves of garlic. Okay. Now, just put it on here. I'll be making some noise. Sound person is going to hate me. So we'll start off slow, and then I'll crank it up, and we want to get a nice smooth consistency. We'll pour the sauce into the pan, and I'll start it off low. Start it warming while we're still waiting for the soy curls. The foam is because of the Vitamix, and we're starting to boil here, which means it's starting to get up to temperature. Alright, so now we're going to drain and squeeze off any extra water off of the soy curls, and I've got a little trick for that. So what I do is I take a nice linen cloth, drape it in my colander, and a little bit of this is going to be off scene or off the camera, so you may not see this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this through here, and then I will pull the basket back out and you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, now that I have my soy curls, and you can probably see from the overhead camera, nicely in the basket, lined up, I'm pulling all of the edges of the cloth together, make a nice little basket, and start to twist and squeeze out all of the extra juices. Now, what we do is unwrap this. And we're going to pour this into our sauce. Okay. That trick squeezes a lot of the water off, and we want that space so that the soy curls can now soak up the juice and get the flavoring inside them. And I'm going to turn up the temperature. And we want to cook this between 10 and 15 minutes, or until all the juices have been soaked up by the soy curls. You can, if you want, make an extra batch of the sauce so it's a little more soupy, so when you pour it on rice you have sort of a gravy. But I would also add some tapioca starch slurry to that to give it a little bit of thickening and a texture. As you can see from the overhead camera, we do have a little bit of pooling still. We still have a lot of liquid. You want to bring this up to a nice simmer. Now I'm using an induction top, and it's got a temperature control on it. So I'm going for about 210 to 220 on that. A full boil on this is about 250, or at least according to my gauge. Your equipment might vary. As you can see, probably from the overhead camera, I'm starting to get a nice boil, so I'm going to drop it down a little bit. I have a feeling that I am going to use the tapioca slurry on this, just to give it a little bit more body. I think the soy curls have soaked up as much as they're going to, and right now we're just sort of cooking and reducing down a little bit. But I have all the ingredients I need for the tapioca slurry. In here I've got 1 tablespoon of tapioca starch and about 3 tablespoons of water. The idea behind doing a slurry separately is this way you don't get dumplings inside your sauce, because it will be the heat which will activate your starch. So just make sure you have it nicely well dissolved, no lumps, no dry patches. And you do want this at a boil, so I am going to turn the temperature up just for a few moments. And then we add our slurry and stir it in. And as you can see from the overhead, we're starting to thicken up already because the spatula is leaving a blank spot at the bottom. Okay, and now I'm going to turn that down. And there we go. And I believe we are now ready to plate up. So, I have in here some rice that I've made earlier. And this is jasmine rice. Blow it up a little bit. And I think I'm going to do just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, and we have our dish. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to do the second one. There's 2 for dinner tonight. go. Messy plate. So, now, for those of you who like spicy food, you can spice this up, make it a little more spicy. I like to use some ghost peppers, and I just do a nice little sprinkle, not very heavy. This is dangerous stuff. And now all we have to do is sit down and enjoy.